guys, we're going to start on a freshly washed face. I did wash my face. I have not moisturized it, which is why it's dry in this area. Before I moisturize my face, I always like to do my brows first, and then I'll moisturize. The things that you'll need to do your brows, you're going to need a eyeliner pencil. I have this eyeliner pencil I got from the local beauty supply store in the color dark brown. I never use the color black. I do use the color dark brown. All right, so what you're going to need is a spoolie for your brows, and then you'll need a flat angled brush. I have the spoolie on one end and the angle brush on the other end. And you're going to need that eyeliner. And I'm also going to be going in with some concealer. I got this Juvia's Place concealer. I'm not sure what color it is. And then I also go in with the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Chestnut. So I use this concealer first, and then I use the second concealer after. So just follow along. I'm trying to do this walkthrough with you guys. I'm not very good at it, but, you know, practice makes perfect, right? So I'm going to go ahead and brush my brows in an upward motion just to get those hairs in place. And I think what I'm going to do is take off this extra hair that I have underneath that's starting to grow back. So I'm going to do that, and then give me 1 second. All right, so I did go ahead and clean up my brows a little bit. This is how they're currently looking. What I'm going to go ahead and do is go ahead and sharpen this pencil so I can get started. Now, what I usually do first is outline the bottom portion of my brows. I do follow my natural arch, but for the front, I do like them to go at like a slanted angle. So just follow along. And you don't want to press like real hard. You do want to kind of press lightly. Like that. So when I say at angle, I mean like that, okay? And then the top portion, I do follow that. Okay, so you can see that I don't have any hair like in this area where it's real light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the tail end of my brow and fill it in to about right here. I don't fill my brows in all the way to the front, just towards the middle. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and take this eyebrow pencil and fill in my brows. Again, I don't go all the way to the front. I do stop about right here when I'm filling in my brows because I don't want it to be too dark in the front. And you want to press lightly, but you don't want to press too hard because you don't want that harsh look, if you know what I'm saying. So it's starting to look like that. Again, I filled in the areas where it was light, and then in the front portion I just lightly press up and go at an angle. And that's how I do my brows. So I'm going to lightly press the front, and if you feel like, hey, I want my brows to be a little bit bigger, you have the option to do that, sis. And I create the front hair strokes. I just lightly press and go in an upward motion. Just like that. So follow along as I do my next one. Again, I'm going to sharpen that pencil. I'm going to outline the bottom portion. You don't want to press too hard. And I'm just following my natural arch. Now, because I microblade, I know that the way that you can measure your brows is doing it at an angle. So from this point to right here, that's where it will stop at. And then your arch would be right there. See? And your brows are sisters, or twins, whichever works for you. Mine's are sisters because they're not always the same, and I'm okay with that. I do try to get them as close as, as close as possible to being the same, but if not, I'm all right with that. Then again, in the front, I lightly press up to create those hair strokes. Yeah, my dog is barking. She drives me crazy. I have a Frenchie and she will not stop barking. I don't let her in the house because she still be pissing on her damn self. So yeah, that's no fun. All right, so as you can see, this is how they're looking right now. Now, this is the magic part to make them brows pop. You want to go in with a lighter concealer first. Not too light, but definitely not too dark. So you're going to take that flat angle brush, and you're going to take that concealer. And what I usually do is I take this concealer, and I take my brush, and I put a little bit of that concealer on each side. So it should look like this. All right, so once you have that concealer on there, you are going to outline the bottom portion of your brows. Now you want to be very careful and move very slow because you're trying to get them as perfect as possible. And yeah, follow along. So it should look something like that. I outlined the bottom portion. Again, you do want to move slow so you can get that perfect little arch that you're looking for. And it's going to give you that pop that you're needing to make it look all fresh and crispy. So once you got that concealer on there, you want to start brushing that concealer down. And you do want to take your time. And if you do mess up, it's okay because you can always go back in with your eyebrow pencil and correct it. Okay, so starting to look like this. If you can if you see, I got a little patch right here, so I'm going to take my pencil and just fill that little spot in. If you haven't noticed by now, I'm a perfectionist, so I need my brows to be on point, okay? All right, so after I use that light concealer, I go back in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Chestnut, and I do the exact same thing. And I'm putting that concealer on both sides of the flat angle brush. So I'm going to go ahead and outline that bottom portion again. And because I want them to look a little bit crispy, like I just got my eyebrows arched, I don't go all the way up. to where the lighter concealer was. Once I'm done with that, I do wipe my angled brush off, and I go ahead and blend out the LA Girl Pro Concealer. I pull it down in a downward motion. Okay, so it goes from this one to this one. All right, let me stop playing. So I do go in to blend out that concealer with a Real Techniques brush. Just a disclaimer, I use my brushes not in order. It says deluxe crease brush, but I use it to blend out my concealer. It works for me, so do what works for you. And I just tap lightly to blend that concealer out. Okay, I usually put concealer also at the top of my brows. I know a lot of people say it's the halo, like that's a halo effect, but I do it because I like to. So either you can leave it like this and then just clean up your brows and brush it, you know, blend it in with that spoolie. And I focus more on the front portion of my brows, because I'm trying to give it that faded effect. So they look like this now. And the reason why I do the top portion, because I like my brows to look really crispy. So I am going to go in with some more LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Chestnut. And I'm going to highlight the top portion of my brows, but not all the way to the front. I do highlight halfway. About right here. And again, take your time. Okay, so that's what I usually do. Yeah. And then to blend it out, I lightly tap, make sure that concealer is blended with my skin. So I'm still using this angled brush to make sure it's the shape that I want. And again, if it's not the shape that you want, you can always go back in with your eyeliner and correct it. And again, I'm going to use this brush, this Real Techniques brush, to blend that in. All right, y'all, so this is the brow that's done. This is the brow that's not done. What do you think? Tell me. If you do try this look, let me know how it works out for you. Again, everybody doesn't have, I mean, it's your preference if you want to do the top portion of your brow in concealer or not. I do like that crispy look, so I decided to do just the top portion, but I start about right here. And I'm going to go ahead and do my other brow, so just follow along. Again, I'm using that LA Girl Pro Concealer to highlight the bottom portion of my brow. I'm going back in with the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Chestnut. And brush that concealer down in a downward motion. Or you can do it across, whichever works for you. Okay, y'all, so what do you think? So this one does not have concealer at the top. I did conceal the top of this brow. I did the same exact steps, but I did not conceal the top. So do you prefer concealer at the top of the brow or no concealer? I take my spoolie and I focus on the front of my brows, and I'm just going to fade that out. Every so often I do find a new technique, but this has been my technique recently, and I do enjoy it. I am starting to get more into makeup. However, I am not a pro at which brush to use. I use whichever brush I feel I need to use. Okay. All right, guys, so here is the finished product. What do you think? This is my everyday brow routine. It's simple. It does take me a little while to do it because I am a perfectionist and I need to make sure my brows is on point, okay? If anything else ain't on point, you gotta make sure the brows is on point. And again, they sisters, they twins, they whatever you want to call them, okay? Just make sure you take your time. Again, I got the spoolie and I faded in the front of my brows. I did stroke lightly with that. And then I used the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush to blend out that concealer for the top portion. Not to really get that halo effect, but to get the effect that I want. So you got your LA Girl Pro Concealer, my Juvia's Place Concealer. I got my spoolie and my flat angled brush and my eyeliner pencil in the color dark brown. These are the things that I needed to achieve this look. Let me know if you want to see more. Let me know what you want to see next. And give me a thumbs up. Make sure you like and subscribe and give me a yay or nay. Tell me what you like best, what you don't like best. And look forward to making more videos with you. All right, so now that my brows are done, I'm going to go ahead and start with my makeup routine. What I usually start with is some moisturizer. You definitely want to make sure you moisturize your face. My face, again, is freshly washed, so it is a tad bit dry, especially around the mouth area. So I'm going to go ahead and moisturize my face.